quite a few questions of, hey, I recognize that last name as a Mennonite name. Why is your first name in Spanish? Where are you from? Can't place your accent. So before I say where I'm from, let's say who I am. So heads up, there'll be a bunch of JPMs here at the beginning. It won't last very long. JPM, Jesus is per minute. Don't worry, I'm not going to preach at anyone that's not a Christian. You're cool here. We can still be friends. Before it flashes on. So I'm a Christian. What that means is I believe in God. I believe Jesus is God. I believe He died for my sins and rose again. I believe in the teachings that Jesus taught in the New Testament. No, I don't. I am not a Christian like you will see on TV. You know those TV things where all of a sudden they're performing miracle bull crap? Yeah, not me. A little more skeptical than that. And for those of you wondering, yes, I believe in science. Very much believe in science. I believe as we get more information in the world, we should have the ability to change our minds, and that's what scientists do. If we get better information to change our theories, well then we should change our theories. I believe that I should welcome everyone. Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself. In that case, you guys are all my neighbors. Like, what is a neighbor? Today's day and age, everybody's a neighbor. Everybody you communicate with is your neighbor, is your internet neighbor. So you're all safe here. I don't care what your race is, what your religious or non-religious stance is. I don't care what your political stance is. I don't care what pronoun you put before your name. You're all welcome here. That's who I am. Very open, very welcoming. And we do not have to agree on just about anything. The only thing we have to agree upon is treating each other with respect. This is a little bit into the where am I from, but still who I am. I grew up as a Mennonite, so that's why the Mennonite last name, Rempel. I'll trace back the Rempel name in a little bit. But yep, grew up as a Mennonite, as a evangelical Mennonite, not a old colony Mennonite. We'll get into that as well. So I've lived here in BC for, it's got to be about 15 years now. I've been trucking for 3 years. Before I was a trucker, quit, I started thinking of, if I left here, what would I really want to do? If I left this job, could pick any job I wanted to, had the time to pick a job I wanted to, what job would I really want to do? And it took me a while to go through all these different scenarios of what skill set I had and what job I would want and what I'd have to get to that skill set so I could get the job I wanted. And I kept coming back to long-haul trucking. And that's why I am now a long-haul trucker. I didn't just quit right away when I figured I wanted to switch jobs. It took me a year to plan everything up, save up enough money so I could be unemployed for a few months if necessary, so I didn't have to take the first offer on the table. I could work for a company that I thought was a good company, which is what I did. I also went to driving school. Driving school is not mandatory in British Columbia. It is crazy that it's not mandatory in British Columbia. So I voluntarily went and paid out of my own pocket, went and got driving school. Before Walmart, I lived in Manitoba, Ganantal, Manitoba, Mennonite area. Southeast of Winkler towards Altona, kind of between Winkler and Altona. While there, I worked at Load King for 9 years. Various jobs at Load King. Load King is a semi-trailer company. So I started with grinding and scraping, cleaning the trailers, to becoming a sandblaster, to working on the CNC plasma machine, plasma cutter. Multi-million-dollar machine that we fix by punching the side of the computer box every now and then until we heard a clink and then it wouldn't start up. It's like, the part that wasn't connecting properly has now fallen down inside the box. Call maintenance. We now know where the problem is. It's maintenance couldn't figure it out. That was a good, fun job too. I really enjoyed that as well. Load King was a good place to work for. Hard labor, but a good place to work for. Before that, I went to school. Went to high school in Winkler, Manitoba. Go Zodiacs. Grade 8, I went to school in Ganantal, small little 3-classroom school. Went to school in Johnsonfeld for a couple of months before we moved to Ganantal. Before Johnsonfeld, we lived in Ontario, south of Wheatley, Ontario, close to Leamington, close to Point Pelee National Park. Went to school there at East Mercia School. Went to school there grades 6 and 7. Before that, we lived in close to Border Valley, or Rhineland, Manitoba. Went to school at Border Valley to that school from most of grade 3 to grade 6. Before that, we lived in Roland, Manitoba. Went to school there for a few months in grade 3. Before that, lived in Belize. Don't remember what school years I was in Belize. For sure grade 2 and 3 maybe. I did grade 3 twice. Due to the difference in education between Belize and Canada, it was deemed to do grade 3 twice. Always said it was the wrong decision, but I can't disagree with the decision. I was happy with it. It never bothered me. Before that, we lived in Mexico for a bit. I think I went to school grade 1, 2-ish in there a little bit. Did not live there very long, but I remember breaking my arm there, cracking a bone, because I was getting myself dizzy running around a tire. Before that, lived in Belize. Yep, lived in Belize twice. I was born in Belize. So I was born in Blue Creek, Orange Walk, Belize. Because I was born in Belize, that is why I have the Spanish name of Juan. Or Juan, as most people say. But in Spanish, J's sound like an H. Juan. You can barely hear the H, but my name starts with the H sound. My mom took care of us. We were very, very, very poor there. You know those kids you see in Africa with the extended bellies and white bleached hair? Yeah, that was me. White bleached hair, no nutrients. Mom went hungry and thirsty many, many, many times. Rough first couple of years. No, my dad never went thirsty or hungry. He has done many evil things. We won't get into that over here. As evangelical Mennonite instead of old colony Mennonite was because my grandparents on dad's side got excommunicated from the colony. Excommunicated as in they got kicked out of the colony for breaking the colony rules. And the rules were that the rule they broke was the old colony of Mennonite is very much still not be of the world, but in the world. So don't be too worldly. So they try to stay back in technology and stuff. So they still run their tractors with steel wheels, and a lot of the old, very old colonies still. Most old colonies don't believe this way anymore. Just to be clear. Most old colony Mennonites are very modern Mennonites. They do everything any Canadian might do. But my grandparents put rubber tires on their tractors and got excommunicated for doing so. My mom's parents never did get excommunicated. My mom's parents and a lot of my relatives on my mom's side are still old colony. Love them, great people. So much fun to hang with. My favorite cousins. Still hang out with them when we go over to Manitoba and stuff like that. So good people there. Very good people. Very proud of the N side of the family. E-N-N-S. N side of the family, absolutely rock. Not to say that the Rempleside family doesn't have good people too. Rempleside people has some really good people too. But, as I said, there are some very evil deeds there that happen to me personally and my family personally. My parents were both born in Mexico. The reason my dad's parents moved to Belize was when the Mennonites immigrated to Mexico, they were promised to be able to have their own education system and their own church and not have to go to war. So Mennonites kind of live on a reservation. You'll notice there's a pattern to that. And the Mexican government decided to enforce a certain level of education on the Mennonites, and a bunch of Mennonites said, nope, we're out, and moved to Belize, where the Mennonite reserves, the way the law is written, Mennonites have their own government in Belize, their own school, their own medical, their own everything, their own leaders. They don't even pay taxes to the government. If you buy a piece of property in a Mennonite colony, you do not get the deed to Mennonite to your property. Literally just say, yes, I have purchased this land. It's a verbal agreement. And technically, it's owned by the colony, by the reservation there. They call them colonies. Some of the colonies in Belize are still steel wheels. You know, 2 of them anyway. There might be 3. But most of the colonies, like Blue Creek and Shipyard, they're very modern. In fact, they kind of run the Belize economy. At least have a lot of sway over the Belize economy. And unfortunately, because they are their own government, crime is quite rampant because the Belize government has no jurisdiction on a Mennonite colony. So things like murder happen there. And they just kind of get swept under the rug. Very interesting. My grandparents were both born, or all 4 were born in Saskatchewan, Canada. The reason they left Canada to migrate down to Mexico was Canada was enforcing their education onto the Mennonites. So the Mennonites wanted their own education, so they bailed out and moved to Mexico. My great-grandparents, from what I can follow, all of them are from Russia, and they've evacuated Russia during the war. Many stories of leaving family behind, leaving riches behind, hanging on the back of the train with 2 kids and 1 pot to cook food in, evacuating, running from the war, boarding a ship and making their way to wherever it's going, which happened to be Canada. So my great-grandparents were refugees, war refugees from World War II. It was fogging up. And why they were refugees? Because they refused to join the Russian military. Kind of noticed that pattern there, that the reason they went to Canada, they wouldn't have to join the military. They went to Mexico. Military, religion, and education is pretty much why Mennonites keep moving. Military is a very Mennonite point of view of Christianity. The Bible says thou shalt not kill, and war is considered killing. I grew up as Mennonite. I have a heck of a lot of respect for military. I don't quite see the military like most Mennonites do. I'm kind of pro-military, but personally myself, on a personal level, not a Christian level, but a personal level, wouldn't be able to go to war and kill someone. So my personal, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have to be a conscientious objector. I wouldn't have that in me to do harm to another person. But I'm very thankful that people out there have that ability to do that, to make that sacrifice, because without their sacrifice, I would not have a safe place to live right now. Our family was escaping from World War I. They evacuated out of Prussia. I do not know. Prussia borders, well, Prussia obviously doesn't exist, but Prussia borders included Germany and Poland. So I don't know which part of my family comes from. Did my family come from the Polish or from the German part of Prussia? I don't know, but from my understanding is that we lived in Poland, that part of Prussia. Also could be that some of the family, because at that point the family tree is split up so far, that some parts of the family lived in Germany, some parts come from Poland, modern day Germany and Poland. And running from the war, you meet people from many different places. But pre-Poland, Germany, the Rempel name actually comes from Switzerland. And it was spelled Rompel, R-O-M-P-L-E, I think, not E-L, like it is now. From my research, the word Rempel means to elbow oneself through a crowd. And I believe that's very fitting. Seems to fit the name well. Seems to fit the people well. That's where I'm from. That's who I am. yes, I've got a Spanish name, but I am as white as can be. I am white. In fact, a lot of my family is blonde-haired, blue-eyed white. I'm as white supremacist white could be. Supremacy. Our family would be a very good white supremacy group. I don't think there is any, looking as far back in the past as we possibly can, any other race than Caucasian in our family. Now, modern day, we have family that have married into other races, and honestly, very frowned upon by a lot of our family members because we're diluting the family. It's like, come on, get over yourself. So who my family are modern day? I have a lot of different kind of family. I've got, as far as relationships, we have racial relationships. We have multiple lesbian, gay. We have transgender. You know, I love them all. They're all cool people. Yeah, that's about it. That's who I am. Very accepting of everybody. Because I think a true Christian should be. Any Christians that disagree with me right now, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I also challenge any Christian that doesn't think we should accept people not like us into our religion is misguided. Just look at Jesus. Who did Jesus go hang out with, and then follow that example? That's all I will say. Just follow that example. Actually, I'm going to say a little more. So if you think, put yourself in the place of the people 2,000 years ago. And a lot of Christians have made this argument to me. Yes, we should let transgender, gay, LGBT people into our church. We should let them come to church, let them learn, and try to convert them back to being straight. People are like, yeah, accept them in the church, but don't let them become our leaders. What did Jesus do? In the Bible days, some of the most hated people out there were tax collectors. Most hated people out there, tax collectors, because they were the middlemen. They collected taxes for the government, gave the government the taxes, but then they always skimmed off the top, and the government was cool with that. So a tax collector would always collect extra for themselves. And a lot of our Christian Bible is based off of a tax collector. Jesus made one of his leaders, took a tax collector and made him one of the leaders of our religion. That you can go way deeper into the weeds for that, but basically, that is why I believe we should accept everyone for who they are. I don't care if you completely disagree with everything I said today. I should still accept you as a good Christian. Love thy neighbor. That took a lot longer than I thought. Anyway, we're going to continue along Highway 55 here. Head up to Old Town, Idaho. Taking a little bit the long way, but the weather it's freezing point right here. It's 0 degrees Celsius outside right now, and they got a lot of snow on the passes, so I took the road that was about 35 miles longer. So I'll keep trucking. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of knowledge from my past. I am very, very happy to talk a lot more about anything I brought up. So I'll answer any questions. I'll talk much more in depth with anyone on any of these subjects. But we'll leave that for our conversation further down the road. So thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this very different episode than normal. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have no idea where I'll be headed tomorrow. I still don't know where I'm going after I unload here in Old Town. So it'll be a surprise to me and you guys all together. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up. And comments. Leave lots of comments. Tell me what you guys think. I will, yeah, like I already said, I'll see you tomorrow. You guys rock. Adios.